Hi everyone, and welcome to my next health and well-being educational video. I am super happy to be here with Chris and Magdalena, and we are going to be talking about finding the right balance through exercise and massages as well, because they're both equally important. Okay, so I will dive straight into it. Hopefully the doggy will be good that's lying there. I'll show you quickly. Look at that, isn't he cute? He's becoming famous now. Yes, so as I said, I'm going to dive straight into it and we're going to talk about your stories.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I would like to find out about you. What is your life story? How was the journey, basically, how you got to where you are?
It's I guess it's like my fitness journey started quite late because it was in my mid-20s.
Okay. It's never too late.
Yeah, it just shows that it's never too late. What happened was that at school I was always the last one doing everything. You know, wasn't a fast runner, wasn't very particularly strong. I was just like not doing particularly great. So I just had that label of just not sporty.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that this is what I'm going to be left with basically till the end of my life. It's just like fitness wasn't my thing. In mid-20s, I already moved to UK from Poland, and we've been robbed basically. So someone burglared our house.
Okay.
And we were sleeping upstairs, so it was me and my son, and it was a horrific experience because then I started feeling I have no control, and they could easily go upstairs, and maybe they actually even did, and harm either me or my son, and I would not be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I very quickly researched martial arts classes, and I started attending Aikido classes, and it wasn't that I was particularly good at it, but I wasn't bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And with enough practice, I was able to remember the movements and the way how I was supposed to respond. So it's something shifted then.
Yeah.
So I then started. I think I persevered with Aikido for a few years, and then went only to orange belt, so it's not overly far. But started doing other exercises as well. So I tried Zumba. I tried yoga, and then even CrossFit. So I just kind of went and done things and that I used to thought that I can't do.
Do you know, can I ask you a question? When you were at school and when you weren't good at it, do you know why that was? How was your family? Were they quite active or were they not? So it's probably from that side that there was never interest in fitness or keeping... Yeah.
My mum was single mum, so I was constantly, we were not playing balls, we were helping, me and my brother were working when we were very young, so we just didn't do that, we did run around a little bit with friends, but not like properly.
So the focus was on something else, really, kind of like more important than was at the time.
Yeah.
But then by that experience, you had motivation, didn't you?
Yeah.
To actually do something about it, and you wanted to protect your son.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it changed a lot.
It did change a lot. It shifted. So it's being burgled kind of was a blessing in disguise, because now fitness is my life.
Yeah.
I trained as a personal trainer a few years ago, and I've worked at a rehab clinic here in Cheltenham and done Pilates-based personal training, supporting people with back issues, and it was a very humbling experience to see what fitness can do, and it doesn't have to be who's the fastest, who's this, it meant that different people, different shapes and sizes can do fitness, rather than there was this image in my head that I have to be, I don't know what size, I have to be tiny to be able to do fitness. It's not true.
It's not, is it?
No, but it really took me a while to get it.
Yeah. It takes a while. Okay, well, we will leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Sorry?
Dog is going to shift the camera, isn't he? Isn't he?
It's
part of it, having extra one in the film, right? Okay, well, let's go on to Chris. Yeah. So tell us about your story, how you got to where you are.
Well, so I mean, at the moment I keep bumping into people that I haven't seen for quite a number of years. And they're like, oh, what have you done and where have you been? And I've stayed in Cheltenham. I'm 40 now, so I've stayed in Cheltenham my entire life. Obviously I've been on holiday, but but a lot of people I have left the boundaries of Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
But people sort of ask, so where have you been and what have you done? Because they've been away and they've been to another country and they've experienced that and they've lived there, whereas I haven't. But having stayed in Cheltenham, I've experienced myself growing within my own town where I was born. So rather than going somewhere else and experiencing another life and another lifestyle and other people's being, I've kind of seen the changes of Cheltenham. So my change, like from the early 90s through to the 2000s, was just going out and having a party and enjoying life because I didn't know what else there was to do.
Yeah.
Particularly, like, my parents divorced when I was 17, so I kind of did my GCSEs, and then that was kind of like a difficult period.
Yeah.
Started work, found like that going out and drinking was the way forward to socialise and
running
enjoy
away.
life.
Yeah.
Running away, but staying in the same place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was always involved in. I always enjoyed playing football. Just activities like being a part of something. I think so, being a part of a team.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't until like I got to my mid-30s, so 34 really, that I started thinking I should really be doing something with my life rather than just working to pay the bills.
Again, it's never too late.
It really isn't. It's really not. So I think when I turned 30, I started enjoying life a bit more, other than drinking and socialising. It was experiencing different things in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to about 34, 35, and then I started volunteering with Samaritans.
Yeah.
I did a personal training course because I thought I wanted to do something that benefited other people rather than just myself.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of where I am now. So I've done the personal training part and I've done some additional training. On the sidelines, I still work for other people because I still like to have that experience of doing different things.
Yeah.
But I really want to grow.
Yeah. And it's keeping the right balance, isn't it? Whilst you do this, it's kind of like good to have that. So everything is all about the balance. That's what I would say.
It is, yeah.
Because if you dive and jump straight into another thing, you know, you can just like train yourself straight from the beginning, and that's not very easy.
No.
But I'm gonna take you back a little bit because you said that your parents divorced when you were 17.
Yeah.
That is a very difficult time of anybody's life when that happens. And it's because you are a teenager, you kind of, what you want to worry about is literally having parties and, enjoying life.
Yeah.
But then that happened and that sort of affected you as well. So for a long period of time, you kind of just went out there and enjoyed yourself. Yeah. But not knowing what and how and which direction to go, probably.
Yeah, it's kind of like a long journey of self-destruct.
Yeah.
That
sounds good. That sounds good.
Along that journey, I had certain illnesses and burst appendix, and that was on the verge of not being here, basically.
Yeah.
And things like that, and it does make you realise that, in a way, it does make you feel a bit more invincible because I have survived that. But when you're younger, you're like, well, I can just do anything, and it's all right. But through that aspect, it's like, well, what if I'm meant to live till I'm 70, 80, 90 years old? How am I going to be physically? How am I going to be mentally?
Yeah.
Nobody knows, but I will try my best to be as as with it and as able as I can be, because otherwise, we do become reliant on other people to support us. Yeah. So if I can do my bit for myself and for other people, for our future selves.
I think that's a really good point, because I think there are two sort of major points you are kind of touching base on. A, you're talking about teenagers and young people that are kind of lost their way or that don't know where to go,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everyone has responsibility for their own life in their own hands.
Yeah.
Up until a certain point, obviously, it's parents who are taking that responsibility. That's my second point. That, any parent is responsible for actually showing the child how to live the life, how to look after ourselves. And that's exactly what you said, we don't know how well we will be when we are 70, 80. And many people still wait until they get ill to actually go and do something about their health and well-being.
Yeah.
Well, why do we wait until it's kind of too late, really?
That's it.
Why don't we start a bit earlier and actually consider that I want to enjoy the life and I want to be well?
Yeah.
So that's very, very good point, yeah.
So
So I know that you two are both personal trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah, certified. And I know that Magdalena also is a therapist, certified too.
Yes.
Massage therapist.
yes.
Yeah. I like the way you said it. That was nice.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to talk about finding the right balance between exercise and massages is because I would like you to talk about sort of what happens to the body when we exercise, what happens to the muscles, the blood and heart and everything, how it affects our mental health as well. But on the other hand, how important it also is to have that relaxed time.
Yeah.
How important it is to give the muscles a little bit of love, basically. That's what I would call it even. So I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting because it was Swedish massage as such was developed in Sweden by a really amazing guy who believed that we can combine both exercise and massage in one treatment. And what it was is you would have a massage, it would kind of loosen your muscles, and then you will go and do some strength exercises to kind of improve your body. So you would have the manual movement, and then it would follow with this dog is really not doing very well.
This is real life, so obviously I'm sorry.
He's just trying to bite something. Now he's trying to bite me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
we will try and handle him. It's
yeah, we will. Okay, we will. So it's so basically what I found that works really well is obviously when we exercise, we do kind of use our muscles, they do break to then rebuild and get stronger. That's all fantastic, but I think we also need a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of me time, especially that these days we constantly are on a phone, on a go, expected to be responsive like most of the time of the day. So it's like, emails ping, 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 ping. So it's like
notifications.
Constantly everywhere. So I think it is so important that we have that hour in a week or in a month or in however often you have that massage treatment, where you actually are not expected to answer any calls. Your phone is switched off, and it's that time when you're investing in yourself. And we talked about there's loads of benefits of massage, but I think the priority is not the everything else these days. What sort of benefits it's got for the body, but how it actually influences the mind.
Yeah.
And the way how it influences the mind is that you can actually relax, and then you can start thinking, okay, so this is how my body should feel, this is how my body does feel. So you're more in your body. We talked about it.
Within yourself.
Yeah, just being in the moment.
Yeah, I think it's... he's really having a good time, look at that.
Yes.
He's really not allowing us to do our work.
No.
Well, as long as he is having a good time. Yeah, but I like what you're talking about, because with the notifications and everything, it's really the matter of having that kind of thought on your mind all the time that you have to respond, that someone is waiting for you, or I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and it's really hard to stop our minds these days, you know. And actually, if people, everybody knows it, you know, we've been working, we are professionals, so we know. But also, if you are not able to stop your mind for an hour, if it keeps going, that means that something is not right.
Yeah.
That means that you really need to do something about it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on here. It is, yeah.
It's, you know, it's great, you will schedule like an hour a month and you will go, but then you will lie down and you are not actually able to come in and just go,
okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, so this is why I often, when I work with people who are anxious or depressed, and quite a lot of my clients are, I do employ mindfulness exercises. So we would do, for example, body scans. We would go, or very simple, because not everyone is into mindfulness and body scans and things like that. No. So if I know that my client is not all interested in that, what I say is just during the treatment, just whenever your head becomes busy and you start worrying, just follow my hands, what they're doing, how your body is feeling, and everyone can do it. You know, it's like, okay, so she's pressing here and how I'm feeling. And but it's such a valid point. We are, you know, and many people do get, because I get feedback from my clients, and they do say that it really helps them to be in the moment and actually just as following what is happening to their body.
Yeah. So it's all well to actually exercise and do these active things, isn't it? Because they help, let's say, on a different level to switch off and focus on actually doing that for ourselves.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's about that peacefulness that can run through a body and that can really help you to stay grounded, stay calm, you know, just stop rushing through life.
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy these days, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So
all the distractions.
Everything, yeah. We were just talking about business, you know, and everything you have to do before you actually do even a post, you know. Now they've created loads of platforms, you've got to cover all the platforms. And you know, it's not easy to always keep up with it.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're learning how each platform works and which software to use and stuff like that. So, you know, that's just an example of us, what can keep our minds busy. But, you know, I would encourage everyone to look at your life and see how calm you are within yourself. See how you balance your exercise, if you exercise, and how you balance your me time, like that calm down time, where, you know, that's where things happen really. Because if you're busy as mind, you can't focus. The decisions you make are probably rushed and wrong. So, you know, it's like you've got to find the right balance. And so let's talk about what you do basically. What are you offering guys to? We talked about the massage obviously, but Chris, let's go on to you. What do you guys offer together or separately to the client, to the people?
So fitness-wise, because I'm personal trainer and group fitness trainer as well. So obviously we give one-to-one training, myself and Magdalena. So one-to-one training with our clients, and it's about helping them with their journey and what they want to achieve. So
it's helping them to get motivated, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's helping people to be motivated and actually want to do exercise rather than like feel they have to be forced to do it and they have to be forced to do a particular exercise. We might not be what can, you know, get them where they really want to be, but we might be that starting point to encourage them to get started and move on and think about what they actually enjoy and what can get them to be active and think about the foods that they're eating and the lifestyle that they lead. And
I think some people might be quite shy to go into group sessions, so one-to-one is really good for those that just want to like, oh, I'm going to give it a try, you know, and see how I feel, because that's what it is about. So
so you got that one-to-one for the, you know, myself, I know it's ironic being a personal trainer, but I used to go to gyms and I was intimidated by going to them, and I really had to force myself to go. And I didn't go on a regular basis, but I went enough for it to make a difference and for me to at the end of the session feel really good about what I've done and I've achieved something, and you know, and that really meant something to me.
Yeah, and I think you're making a very good point there. That, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what you do, but especially today about the exercise, it is all about how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Because those are the real benefits for your health and well-being,
Yeah.
basically. And the truth is always ours.
Yeah.
So it's really good that you actually mentioned it, because you forced yourself
Yeah,
to go,
I mean, yeah, some
but
days,
you knew
yeah.
what you were expecting from it. You knew that the feeling you're going to gain at the end of the session was good for you.
Because it was at a time, I think, where I was perhaps quite anxious about going out, and even the thought of going out the front door to go to the gym was really hard. You know, obviously I had to go to work every day, and that was a done thing. But actually leaving the house, thinking about it, I've got to get my trainers on, get my gym kit on, and then I've got to go to the gym, and there'll be other people there, and what are they thinking about me, and you know, and it's all in here. And we create a story, an image, and before you know it, you haven't actually left the house, and you've done nothing. And then you feel even more contained because of that fear that you created. So I know the benefits of going to do exercise, not necessarily the gym, but playing sports and you know.
You said one very important word, and that's fear.
Yeah.
You've got to face your fears,
Yeah.
otherwise they will run your life.
Yeah, and they do. And I've been not a victim or guilty of it, but it is something that has happened to me, and it still happens from time to time, but it's so few and far between.
Yeah.
Than it used to be like every other day.
Yeah.
Because you overcome that and you move on, and it does become easier.
I feel I understand what you're saying, because there was a time where I felt like, you know, I was kind of stuck in the bubble. And that's what happens when you live within your fears, basically. When you don't stop your mind from saying this, oh, I will feel that way, oh, there is that, you know, all of that is happening in there. And if you want to stay there, that's what you do, you just stay there. But doing what you did, you really almost, in the beginning, you have to force yourself to step out of it.
Yeah.
It's stepping out of your comfort zone, because any fear is keeping you in that comfort zone, and that's what it exactly wants to keep you.
It is,
so
yeah.
It's a really good example that you actually did that, even though you kind of didn't want to. You felt it within yourself that it will benefit you long time.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to be this insular, fearful individual that I was, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to grow, and I wanted to move, and I wanted to explore, I guess. But you can't do that from the confines where you can through the internet these days. But it's not the same as actually experiencing it yourself.
No.
So yeah, and I can empathise with people 100% with how they're feeling and getting started with fitness and any activity. And this is what we try and give that open and thought, warm thought process of people opening up to us and saying, we are the same. You know, we're human. We are the same, and we've had those experiences.
And no one is perfect. You know, of course we are sharing with you our tips and what we do, but of course we have our ups and downs. You know, like you. So take it. But the thing is, it's your decision what you do about it. You can either sit where you are and struggle so much in it, or you can get off your bum and go and do something about it, basically.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
I mean, you know, we can open the door for people and we can show them what's on the other side, but you know, you can't push people through it. They have to walk through it themselves, and they have to want to do it.
Yeah, I love kind of what I have in my mind, you know, when we are kind of there, you know, and struggling in our little world. If you really just lift your head up, because if you're keeping looking down, my friend said, actually, Shimi, and I thank you for that, because you can't see the world if you're looking down. You know, you just see the pavement, you just see the ground. But when you look up, that's where the world is. And I always imagine like a room, you know, massive room with many, many doors, you know, and they're all different colors. And unless you go and try and open that door, you will have never an idea what's behind them.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly how we start breaking actually that comfort zone that you stay in, those fears that are keeping you away from those doors. So Right, okay, so that's one-to-one. So that's very good.
Just one-to-one, yeah. Obviously on the opposite end of the scale is the group fitness. Yeah, so I think with the group fitness, we actually have a lot of people who still aren't confident within themselves and about fitness, but I think because they feel that they're safety in numbers, maybe, I don't know, but there's not that commitment to have to go, every week or every other day for like one-to-one. They can turn up, they can do a session, and they can feel a bit, and they do feel really good about it, and go home and they've done something with other people, but it's about them challenging themselves, and that's what we say, that you're here for yourself. Don't look at what everyone else is doing. You're all doing similar exercises, but you're challenging yourself and you're working within your means and your abilities, but pushing yourself a little bit further.
So I will add to that. It's my vision of the group and group exercises is our groups are very small. There are 6 to 8 people. There's normally 2 of us supporting. So the individuals are well supported. They are in that bubble, but they are bubble there where can get they are nourished, they are looked after. We know everyone's story, and we support them, and the group supports each other, even if they don't have to become friends. It's not about becoming friends. It's about actually the support. It's a bigger thing that you get only from group sessions, because you are working together, and it's like this momentum is created.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is this kind of a little bit of a competitive aspect to it, that I would say there shouldn't be a comparison, because we are all different, but the competitiveness is always good. It kind of raises you up, because with anyone, like if you look at that person, they can do it. Obviously you can do it too. It
is possible, it's achievable then,
And then practice makes perfect, doesn't it?
Of course.
So you are an example, where you were years ago and where you are now. So yes, people might feel that, fitness is not for me. Well, have you tried actually? Have you actually pushed yourself enough to gain the benefits that fitness and active lifestyle can bring you? And same with you, Chris, where you were partying and enjoying life, and then kind of like, so, it's like we've got 2 really big stories going on here, and it proves the truth.
But ultimately, we're about us, so it's the 2 of us. So most group sessions, as Magdalena said, it's the 2 of us that are there, so one might be leading and the other one will be there helping support someone that might be struggling with a particular exercise, or but because we have our different experiences, we can empathise with a different variety of people and show a different angle or perspective that they might not have thought of. Just talking to, rather than talking about experiences rather than in a session.
And I like that, because actually that's a big benefit to a session, because one is leading, and when someone is leading, that person cannot physically pay attention to if the group is doing the exercise the right way, because potentially someone can hurt themselves. If you're lifting something heavy and you're bended, obviously you're not supporting your body with a straight spine. So it's like I exercise and I know a little bit about it, but I go to the gym and sometimes I just look at these guys, how they're moving, and they're just bending like that, and you're like, gosh, your spine is screaming, And I'm thinking, I don't know much, but I know that much that you've got to keep straight, that you work on the muscles, so you've got to kind of build up the muscles so that they hold you straight. And I think that's great that actually one of you can keep an eye on the team, on the group, to make sure that they do it properly.
That's it,
Because it's really tricky.
Because we're all about functionality.
Functional fitness predominantly. So there are 2 things. I think what we are employing here is the kind approach to gymming. It's
like that. That sounds good.
There is no shouting. There is no go do it again and stuff. It's like there is loads of really nourishing the person that we work with, and elevating them a little bit so they can achieve a little bit more.
Them.
Very much,
Yeah.
and this is why people stay with us. Everyone can, you can go and try personal trainer, and then they will destroy you in the first session. You are not going to come back.
Yeah.
Whereas what we try is just give that a little bit of encouragement. And I've got a handful of clients who said to me, it's like my story repeated. Basically, they were saying to me, I'm just not a gym person.
Yeah. And that's very good, because that just makes the point that we are all different.
Yeah.
We all prefer a different approach. So you two have very calm, friendly approach, and that kind of comes through. You do. You do. Yeah, I can feel it. And the way you've been talking about what you do is all about like you care that whoever comes gets the attention, gets the care, and gets most out of the session, no matter whether it's one-to-one or a group session.
Yeah.
So that makes so much of a difference.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. Well, I think we've covered quite a lot, but I'm going to ask for the main benefits of exercising and massages for people.
Okay, so
ladies first. Is it going to take it over?
We agreed that anyway.
Okay.
Chris is a gentleman.
Yes.
So, yes. I think for me, it must be mental health. It's for both really, massage therapy and personal training. It's just with the personal training, it really kind of helps you on more day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis, to keep you a little bit more with it. It gives you an outlet as well. Whereas massage therapy is supporting you in being more in your body and exploring your body. So when you are in your body, you then learn to feel and experience niggles before they become injuries.
Yeah.
So it's just this awareness. When our body can't do loads of things at the same time. It's like when people say that we especially women are multifunctional. You can do loads of things and at the same time. And that's not true. What happens in your brain is your attention shifts from one to another. So there is this gap where you are all over the place. So it's the shift. It's not that you are everywhere at the same time. It's just, okay, this is finishing, this starts, so this happens. And some people can do it quickly. I can do it quickly. But this is why I know. But you're never present in one constantly if you are like that.
It's a focus.
So this is why so when you are on your phone, you're not really present in your body. And when what massage therapy actually can do is help you feel your body better and be in it a bit more. So when you've got that gap where you are not actually answering anything, you can think, oh, my back feels slightly strange, and then you can readjust. You can improve your posture. You can do something about it. Whereas men are often not that great with experiencing anything else than pain. I know that's very generalized statement, but it only comes from my practice. So many men who come to see me as a massage therapist in a massage therapist role, they would struggle with pain and high level of pain rather than I just feel a little bit of niggle here. They come only when there is it's really serious, and we could fix it much earlier, rather than wait until it's so serious that massage may not work and they need some other therapies at the same time.
I think men are a little bit sort of backwards with it, in a sense. Sorry, Chris. Is that true?
I'm not gonna lie.
See, it's a proof. No, but it's also, I think it's also the society that still actually says that men have to be the men, you don't cry, you don't moan and stuff like that. But the truth is, no matter whether you are a woman or a man, you're a human being. And your body, your instincts, and everything else talks to you in little snippets. But we don't pay attention to it until, again, might be too late. So, you just say, oh, it's okay, it's a little bit of a pain, that's alright. And then suddenly you can't move. Or or suddenly you need kind of an operation or something, and it's like gradually growing, and that again takes us back to looking after our health and well-being from the beginning, throughout our whole life, not when we reach 50 and we can hardly walk.
Or when we retire, many people wake up to that when they retire.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit, it's still okay. It's still, you can still improve it a little bit, but you could prevent so many situations. You could move more, you could visit more countries, you could travel, you could walk, you could,
enjoy life more.
Enjoy your life so much more if you would just start. And it's not just to start now, whether you're 60, 70 or 30, and as I was in mid-20s, just start.
Exactly. It's never too late, is it? Never
it's
too
not,
late.
No, not really. No.
So what would you say? What are the benefits of
follow that up?
Yeah.
What she said.
I'm just running away from an answer. Come on, give us like one benefit from your point of view that people can take from exercising.
It's not. Yeah, it's not just the physicality of it. It is the inner. I don't know what you want to call it. Your soul, your spirit, whatever.
Peace.
And it is that understanding of yourself and feeling that. But I think it's growing. I've kind of built this saying within myself that if you're not growing, you're just existing. And I feel that I had just been existing for a long time, and I felt that I need to grow. We are living beings. We're like like trees and plants and things. We grow, and if you don't do that, you just live and you just die, and that's it. You don't really achieve much, and I don't want that for myself or for anybody. Like, if you can achieve anything, it is to grow yourself and experience, and through fitness and well-being, like you have more energy, you're more active, the clarity of thoughts, like specifically like going for a run as an example for myself. After going for a run, it gives my mind like time to just like think about loads of things, and then at the end, I've kind of cleared the fog a little bit, and I've got that energy to want to do stuff, and those blockages are gone. So, that.
Absolutely, I love that. I love that. And growth is important for us human beings.
Yeah.
Because we can choose to stay where we are.
Yeah.
Or we can choose to actually do something with ourselves.
Yeah.
And learn what's good for us, what's not good for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of personal development gurus or advisors who do say that it's either the pain of not knowing or the pain of growing.
Yeah.
Growing is painful.
Growing is painful, and
it doesn't have to be if you accept it.
But yes,
you've got to accept that
it's where you
need
want
to grow.
Yeah, you have to accept you need to grow to where you want to be somewhere different to where you are now.
Yeah.
Because you might not. You've accepted the pain where you are, but further down the road, it's going to be a greater pain than if you actually move.
And there is a process actually to it, because many people might be watching and thinking, oh, I wish I could do that, or maybe tomorrow. But step number one is to make a decision that you want to do something about your life.
Yeah.
And
now.
Don't wait for someone else to do it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And step number two is actually going and doing, making that first step forward. Pick up the phone, book a session, go, and don't let that thought go. And the third one is actually commitment. Because unless you commit, guess what? You'll go 1 or 2 times, that's it. And I always say rule of 7, our brain, and it's been proven, needs to see, hear, or do whatever for 7 times at least to pick up on it. And then it starts becoming a habit.
Yeah.
Then you really start benefiting from it. So the choice is always ours.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely. You finished it quite well, didn't you? Lovely. The dog has fallen asleep, so we've got a bit of peace now towards the end. So I'm going to finish it off, and I've got 2 questions for you, and I want sort of like top tip for women, how they can improve their health and well-being. Like consider women in 21st century, you know, the pressure and everything else, what you do, what would be the top tip for women?
Okay. Small and often, so small snippets of time committed to your well-being. So, for example, I like talking about waiting time. So waiting time is the time that we spend waiting doing nothing, like for example waiting for kettle to boil, or waiting for printing to be done, or just so we are not doing anything and we will just go and pick up the phone. But during that time you could do 10 calf raises, 10 squats, and by the end of the day, you know, let's say that you make a cup of tea 3 times or 4 times, you've done 30-40 squats. So your legs are straight away better, you can walk more, you know, it improves the way how your body functions. So
I like that. Can I just get you to that?
Yeah.
Because there is a massive wisdom in that. If you think about it, and we are all guilty of it. Yeah. I love waiting time. It's amazing. And I used to struggle with it. Always grab your phone. So if you consider that you can do 30 squats, and if you consider how many times you check your phone, how many times have you actually compared yourself with someone else? How many times have you had a thought without even realizing, oh, that person has got that, I don't have it. Oh, that person is on holiday, I don't know when I can go. All of these thoughts, imagine at the end of the day how much of a damage that causes to your brain.
Yeah.
That is really important to actually mention it, because you can choose whether you're going to pick up the phone, stare at it, damage your eyes, damage your brain, do nothing with your body, or if you can actually go and do whatever you can do to make yourself feel better. So that's very good. Okay, sorry I interrupted, but I wanted to mention it. Yeah.
But it just shows that it's not the time that you actually have to sacrifice. So normally people don't want to sacrifice their time because they don't have time, they're always busy, and it's this is not sacrifice, so it shouldn't come too hard to one. It's replacing one action that doesn't serve you with action that does serve you. So that would be one. Second one would be follow your cycle. So if you have periods, listen to your body. So I would probably not advise to go for crazy runs or loads of exercises just before periods. Just listen to your body, and if your body says come down a little bit, come down a little bit, and still work out and still do something, but you can replace runs with mindful walks, or you can do more gentle exercises, just something that will still keep you mobile, but not even deplete more your energy levels, and they are already depleted when we kind of hit that PMS and menstruation. So it's definitely worth thinking about.
And I don't know whether you've seen my interview with Gabriella, because we were talking about actually our female cycle, and it's beneficial for women and it's beneficial for men to understand where we are within our cycle, because we go through 4 periods actually in 1 month. So, you know, our energy is really up for the first 2 weeks. It's coming down for the second 2 weeks until we have our period actually. So, you know, it's really important to actually for women to understand their body, because we can be pushing. Then we feel like we are withdrawn, we are like so tired, and why is that? Questioning it. There are answers, and I will add the link over there.
Yeah.
So, you know, use it for you too as well. But yes, as you said, the energy is so low, you know, obviously we have been built that way, so we need that me time, calm down time, and we also need a little bit of understanding from the other partners, you know, because it's like you can be crushing so much towards the end of the month, but that doesn't necessarily have to take place if you understand. So that's very good. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, or shall we?
Just one last one. Yeah. So if you want to add new habit, add it to the habit that you already have. So for example, we're all getting up every day. We're all brushing teeth every day. And so if you want to, for example, start exercising at home, you're not ready yet to employ a personal trainer, go for the groups, and not everyone will be. But what you can do is just add, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever, to the time that you already have in the morning. So for example, if you've got something like, let's say toothbrushing, most of us brush teeth every day just straight after you get up, so maybe implant a new habit between getting up and brushing the teeth, so this way it's like anchored very strongly, and it will stay, rather than just trying to put it in the middle of the day where it's just doesn't have anything to attach and claw into. So that would be me. Good.
So yes,
beat that one.
Top tips. There's a competition going on there. So yeah, first top tip for women.
Top tip for women.
How to improve their health and well-being.
It's a tough one.
It is, isn't it?
I think it's, as Magdalena said, it's kind of like explore yourself and find out what is right for you. I think unfortunately, you know, we are talking about growing. We're growing as a society, and there's still a thought process that women should be at home, maybe not exercising, being involved in sports, get involved in something. I mean, you know, women's football is growing massively, and I think it's great. Unfortunately, you'll still get negative vibes and comments and looks from people. That doesn't matter. Forget about them. It's about you and yourself and what you can achieve.
Very much so.
Even in Cheltenham alone, there's a number of netball groups, and I think like netball is kind of like I don't know, for some reason I think it's a bit of like an older sport, like, but it's actually, I think it's great. Get involved. It's a good team sport. Also you've got mixed netball as well, so it's not just.
And anything that's out there, anything that
it's
brings the best out of you.
Yeah.
Anything that's good for you.
That's right. Yeah, it's finding something that's right for you. There's always like come along and have a go for for nothing, or find a friend who plays a sport. Or can I come along and give it a try, or just at least watch. And you can just get out, and it does create a bit of sociability as well. So it's not just about the sport and the physicality; it's the sociability of it. Yeah. Exactly. Which I think is really important for women who might think that they need to stay at home all the time. I don't know. That's
get out.
Get out.
Get out. Get life. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna stay with you because I'm gonna ask you for the tip for men. Top tip for men. That should be easier. Come on.
Top tip for man is, or for men. Men is talk more. Be a bit more open and honest, because I can only use my own experiences as an example. Talk more, be open and honest, and get upset about things, cry about things, be frustrated, be angry, but have an outlet, not like being violent or shouting and being aggressive, but
let it out.
Let it out, and if that means talking about it, if that means talking about it with your partner, I think, which is really important. Like, your partner is your partner. You're supposed to have that connection where you can talk about things and express how you feel.
And it's trust as well.
And and it's that trust. And if you can't, then maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe they're not the right person for you.
I love what you're saying.
But even if it's not your partner, find someone, a family member or friend or anybody, and talk about it, whatever's going on, because we all get angry, we all get frustrated about things, and find that outlet for me was talking about it. I used to draw stuff, I used to write how I was feeling down, I used to go for a run, play football, there's all sorts. But I think having a multiple outlets for me has really helped me with any sort of frustrations or angry feelings, particularly as a young man that I used to be.
You still are.
Or younger, anyway. But you know, they're still there and they're still ingrained that life is hard. And if you can't get that out of here, it does become even harder. It's really difficult. And there is that stigma that men should keep it in and all man up, and unfortunately that is still the case for some people, and I think that's just
Yes.
Really frustrating.
We all know what wanted to come out.
It's really frustrating that is still the mentality in society. But that's just the way it is, unfortunately. But yeah, just find an outlet that doesn't involve hurting yourself or other people.
Yeah. I think what also kind of comes up is that you played football for like past 20 years, and even when Chris was going out and on his drinking adventures, he was still going to football sessions every Sunday, and I think that kind of kept him youthfully looking.
Other benefits to it too.
I think it is. It's just like, okay, if you are going through a rough patch and you're going to feel like drinking is the solution for something, keep to some physical activity, one or another. I don't know whether it is cycling or going for football. Just stick to it and do it, regularly, weekly, even with a hangover. Your body will thank you at the end of the day.
It will. Yeah, it will.
Yeah. And it's a very good point. Yeah.
In addition to that. So it's a bit more at face value. I think it's important to actually take a look in the mirror and see who you are and who you're looking at, or what you're looking at. Do you like who you see? And do you like how you look physically? Do you like who you see? Like, do you know who you actually are? Like, some days I think, like, who am I? Am I living the life that I want to be living, or do I like the way that I look? And I think it's really important to just check yourself and do you like who you see? Yeah. And what can you do about it to change who you are? If you want to change, or maybe you're perfect, then that's great if you are. But it is important, I think, take a look at yourself. It's not just about inside, but if you look at yourself, you can really, really think about who you are. Just take that time.
And it can be scary,
It can be scary.
Yourself can be scary.
It's really more scary if you look in the mirror and you pull some really crazy faces. Try it. But don't say Candyman 3 times. If you've ever watched that movie from the 90s.
No.
But yeah, that is really, really good, and I like that. I like even what you touched base on. It's like you started writing down how you were feeling.
Yeah.
No matter whether you're a man or a woman, it helps down. You get the clarity so much about where you are on your life journey, how much is really going on, and I mean really going on, because you can be holding in. All the thoughts can be staying there, bothering you all the time. Get it out. And that is a process that actually helps you to feel better.
Yeah.
Because once you know what you can work with, you can work on it.
Yeah.
So that is very good from a man.
Thanks.
Yeah, well done. Okay, would you like to beat that one?
Keep going.
Get a puppy.
For a man. Okay, top tip for a man.
If in doubt, just get a puppy.
Yes. No, I think we kind of touched on most of things that are important to both of us. So yeah.
Nice. Right, okay, very quickly, very shortly, we're going to reset that we are all humans, and we get our ups and downs. But final question for both of you is, how do you deal with your life challenges?
With humanity.
Good, yeah.
Oh gosh, how do we deal with that?
What do you do when you feel that? For yourself, you speak for yourself.
Yeah. I think we support each other. So that's quite a bit, and it does help that we met in Samaritans, so we volunteered together, and so I know that I can talk to him. Just this basic thing.
And for us women, it's important, isn't it? We need to feel that we can talk to our men.
And if it's him who makes me angry, I will go outside. And
you go outside.
Outside, just be close to nature.
Walk.
Really helps.
Yeah.
Really helps. It's
clears your mind, doesn't it? It just gives you a different perspective.
Yeah.
It just shifts everything rather than staying in that
bubble. Really. Yeah. So there are bubbles that are good, and there are bubbles that are very good.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely not a good one.
That's Nice. Okay, what about you, Chris?
Actually, yeah, what she said. So it is, we do support each other in our thoughts and actions. Really, it's we talk about a lot of things that perhaps I talk about a lot of things I perhaps might not have talked about in the past. So it's good that we have that communication, but we talk about what's going on in the world, and we do have opposing. Surprisingly, we have opposing thought processes on most things and opinions, and it can get a little bit heated in conversation. And then sometimes, it's about having that debate and getting your point across about what you think about something, and then you have it's not about like, oh yeah, I agree with what you're saying, because that doesn't achieve anything. You're not actually being true to yourself or to your partner or to anyone else around you. So yeah, it's good to be open and honest, even if sometimes it means offending somebody. But
it's life, isn't it?
This is life. You cannot please everybody 100% of the time. I learned that the hard way working for a support work for kids, homeless kids, teenagers, young adults, and I wanted to help everybody, and I wanted to bring something that I could to all these kids who, for whatever reason, have found themselves on the streets and living in supported housing. But some of them were quite horrible to me. I've had some really, really some of the worst experiences in that role. So it just goes to show that no matter what I did or tried to do, it wasn't what they wanted, and that's it. And you can't help people 100% of the time. They don't want that. Some people want to be helped, some people don't. And that's it. But through that understanding is, being true to myself and being true to the people around me, and if it makes a difference, it does. If it doesn't to them, then
I think it's unbelievable, because you touched so much on quite deeper level that I think it's all about openness, being really true to yourself and learning how to be true to the other person. When we are talking about relationships, because I guess that's partly how you two can work together, actually. Because sometimes it just doesn't work, two people that are in a relationship working together. So I think you've learned quite a lot.
We live together, we've got a business together, and everything really.
Still don't have enough of each other, right?
No, but it's just reminded me, it's like we had, when we started seeing each other, we had this moment where we went for a run. It was one of our first runs together, and Chris
We're talking about communication here, and
oh wow, we went to Pittville Park, and then he said we'll do couple of laps, couple of laps
of the lake,
and then so we've done 2. I'm on my way back, and he was like, let's just go and do 1 more, and I was like, what? 3rd lap? You said 2, and I was like that, stamping with my legs and everything, and it's just like, and my entire body was like, oh, I don't want to do 3 laps, going back home.
Had enough already.
But it is we are no longer like that. I think we learn to listen to each other, but it just shows that it's not everything perfect straight away.
And it's a little thing, like, you were already excited about finishing the 2nd one, me through the 3rd one, and imagine that, right? And you learn the lesson, you don't do that to a woman.
There's a couple of things.
Okay, and defending yourself.
Me saying couple sometimes means more than 2. Second thing, being a personal trainer,
you can't count.
You can count, but you know that you have to push a little bit further. So you just tweak things a little bit.
But it's a preparation. I mean, I go to a HIIT class, and the guy at the end said, and now we do this. The whole group switched off completely already, because they were tired. They were, the mind switched off, and I'm like, so that's exactly what happened, right? And there was a fire on the roof,
It's true, So it is about that, communication.
Communication is the key. I've done actually my video about communication, so I'll link that to my help. And learn to listen, which I think these 2 are a great example too. Okay, we are actually gonna hit an hour in half a minute, which is a record.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nearly 60
But
minutes.
what we've covered is unbelievable, and I feel there is so much of a benefit for everyone. So I would encourage everyone to actually comment below and say how you're feeling, say what you got out of it, and even ask questions. We will be happy to answer them. So okay, do that. And you can connect with Magdalena and Chris, and of course myself. And I will look forward to seeing you next week with my next interview. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
It's been amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you. Very grateful.
Bye.